California. Man, our 2 days down here, Anthony and me, Paulina, and all the characters around us have gone way too fast. In fact, we just started out the other day down at C4 Sport Fishing with Max Nui on the Pacific Voyager, and their great crew. I'll have information from them and everybody else on the Bluefin tuna fishing in just a moment. We started that out a mere 48 hours ago, and the rest of our time here has just zoomed by. It's been an extraordinary couple of days, and I'm so happy you've joined us and come along for the ride. It's really been fun, and man, yesterday was a crazy day. In fact, you know how we lose our microphones every once in a while here at Friedman Adventures? Well, we managed to do that last night. Paulina managed to do it. I'll show you that video a little bit later. Pretty funny because we turned our forensic scientist loose on it, Anthony, and we'll let you know if he was able to determine where the disc, the little microphone, actually ended up, and were we able to recover it. Hey, if you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. If you don't mind, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. You can also subscribe to Aventuras del Gringo, our Spanish language show on YouTube. I think you're going to really love that. And also tick the little bells, and you'll be notified when there is new content. You can follow us on Facebook. Over 1.5 million views on Facebook in the last 28 days. Thank you so much. Also Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Michael Burke joins us. Good morning, Michael. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you and all your loved ones are doing well. It is a gorgeous day. Anthony, if you can hear him. Can we hear you, Anthony?
Yeah, I think so.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Freaking amazing. It's a lot. The sun came out way faster than it did yesterday.
It's sunny. It's warm. It's like, what, 9 in the morning? And it's a gorgeous freaking morning here in Ensenada. Anthony and I are going to make our drive up to Rosarito, drop in and say hi to some friends of mine there. And then we've got to get over to Sportsman Seafood and pick up our Independence bluefin tuna and rockfish that we had, of course, prepared over there. So really looking forward to that. Can't wait to see Alfonso there at Sportsman Seafood. All right, let me get into it with you. Mexico, we're seeing waters warm up south of the border down there in Cabo San Lucas. A lot more rooster fish on the beach with good Sierras offshore. More striped marlin pushing in there with yellowfin tuna also joining the party, along with, of course, the flatheads. Dorado fishing is picking up day by day. Same thing up there in La Paz. While we catch an occasional yellowtail up there now, yellowtail prefer like cooler water. They don't like it too warm, too hot almost. And that's when they will migrate out of the area. And you're starting to see that. Less and less of the yellowtail in La Paz and Loreto and Santa Rosalia. You get a little bit further out there like Santa Rosalia, and they're still catching yellows. But right now, they're being replaced by the warmer water species. We're starting to see Dorado up there around the La Paz area. It's been really good. And the rooster fishing has been spectacular. Ray Millman, a dear friend of mine, was just down there and had great fishing on the rooster. San Quintin, Baja California. There had been some bluefin tuna outside of there, but it's been a little bit tough here the last few days. Some decent yellowtail fishing at times. They bite the surface iron, it seems like, when they do fire up. And by the way, everybody, just about everywhere we're going to have a warming trend over the next 5 days or so. This is going to tell the tale of some really great fishing. We're going to get solar warming. We're going to lose the wind. I think we're on the precipice of a really excellent bite. And that includes this Saturday down there on Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway, where you're going to find Anthony and yours truly and a whole bunch of other people surf fishing 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. All you have to do is show up. You can bring a cup of coffee if you like, some breakfast. You can go get breakfast afterwards. You can stop at Big Fish Bait and Tackle before you come over there. I know you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a fun day. Whether you like to fish or not, we'd like to hang with you that morning. Just a few hours. Show up at 9 a.m. if you want to sleep in. Show up at 5 a.m. if you're deadly serious about the fishing. We have a high tide coinciding with, of course, sunrise, and we've got a grunion run the very next day, as well as now this warming trend. That's going to be a big day. All right, let me go back to San Quintin and just mention that they have great rock fishing going on there also, as they do up here in Ensenada. How about that big giant calico bass that Paulina caught yesterday. It was absolutely fantastic. And I will let you know, all you Friedman Adventures fans, that I nearly broke my neck trying to record that fish. Man, my feet went out from under me. My ribs jammed into the steel pipe. And I thought it actually had broken my ribs at first. And then I ended up on my back like a turtle. You know, I really couldn't even get up, at which point I'm like, Anthony. And he's like, dude, I'm trying to catch a bass. Leave me alone, man. You know, quit bugging me. I want to get one of those like Paulina just got. Anyway, I'm good. This morning I thought for sure I was going to be all screwed up. I'm good. That big calico, there's big bonito, as we've been showing you around here, and a lot of rockfish. And I was so happy that we were able to catch for you right here at Botes Juanitos some commercial guys coming back in with copious amounts of black cod, sablefish. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch that video because it was fantastic to see that. They're out in the really, really deep water, 1,000+ feet of water, fishing those black cod, and they had a whole bunch of them. That was really good to see. Tommy Tar, next time you talk surf fishing, can you tell us what we can eat and how to cook it? Yeah, I'll do a special thing on that. You know, some people feel like those fish are, you know, polluted or they've been eating. You know, the studies that I have read, Tommy, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist or anything, but it seems like you have to eat like 3 semi-trucks full of fish to get mercury poisoning. So, you know, I think for the most part, when you eat fish freshly caught from the sea, it's going to be way healthier than a freaking Big Mac. That's the way I feel about it. But we'll definitely do that. I can tell you right now, when we were catching yellowfin croaker with Eddie Leland a few years ago, full speed, it looked like a commercial fishing operation down there in Surfside because we'd all catch our limits and Eddie'd be up at the house filleting away while I was inside cooking up fish tacos, and there wasn't a person in Surfside Colony who said, wow, this tastes like crud or anything like that. They were so good. You know, battered, delicious fish tacos. Dan Lightfoot. And of course, Dan, we want to send out our love and our happy birthday wishes to Michael Limon. Dan says, good morning, Phil and Anthony and Friedman Adventures family. I'm not mad. I'm just jealous, says Dan. Have you been talking to Dan? Jealous about the calico? Jealous about the food? Jealous about the cigar? Jealous about Paulina? Dan, it's great down here. We really hope you can come down soon. It's peaceful. You'll see it in a little bit, folks, because we're trying to get you into some of the local eateries around here where gringos don't eat. Anthony, yours truly, and Paulina, she took us to a local eatery this morning that was fantastic on so many levels. Felt like your grandma was serving you, right? Yeah. It was just so homey, so nice. The food was so good. It was affordable, and you didn't see any gringos. And by that, I don't mean, you know, I'm anti-gringo. I'm a gringo. I get that. I just mean the locals know where to go and eat, and we're trying to share some of that with you. I might put that up before we start driving up to Ensenada, but the reality is we have so much to put up from last night when what did we do last night with Paulina? I don't know. Oh, we went to the grocery store and the pharmacy. Yeah, I got all this stuff for you guys, so I'll definitely be sharing that. Michael Burt, Phil just bought an Avid. Let's see here. There we go. Avid JX63 Real Raptor. Was it a good choice for yellowtail? I think so. That should serve you really, really well. Tommy Tar says Scott is missing. To be honest with you, Tommy, we had a little debate up at the car. Should we bring Scott or should we leave Scott? And we erred, obviously. We made a mistake by leaving Scott up there. Scott's been all over Ensenada on this trip, so we'll see if he pops up again. Mike Krinkovich, breaking news, white smoke from Vatican City. So we have a new pope, it sounds like. Mike, thanks for keeping us up to date on that. I'm real stoned, yo. Robert Graber, good morning, Alberto, in honor of being with Paulina. I love it, Robert, and the Friedman Adventures family. Happy Thursday for sure. Robert Graber wishes Michael Limon a happy birthday. Speaking of really good people, I know you agree with me. Robert Graber is one of those people. Robert, you're the man. I can't wait to be up there fishing with you and your son, Travis. It's going to be a lot of fun with Paulina. And Travis Bright has already located a claw machine for that May 30th trip. So that is going to be a lot of fun. Hey, by the way, couple spots left on our El Patron trip, leaving Friday, May 16th out of Long Beach Sportfishing. better send me a text if you'd like to grab a couple of those spots. 657-227-6459. The dog will be there. I'll be there. We're going to Catalina Island, 5 a.m. departure. Should be a lot of fun. All right, let's talk bluefin tuna. And we need to talk about the fact that the fleet, the last 24 hours, hasn't seen squat. So let me kind of bring you up to date on what's going on so you can get a better idea, not lose the forest for the trees. And so, you know, a couple weeks ago when we were on the Independence and the trip after that, full speed, wide open bluefin tuna, fish from 20 to over 200 pounds. It was as good as you could want it. We had a great trip on the Independence. And then Kevin Kwan backed us up with his 6-day trip on the Independence when they had limits of bluefin, 37 halibut, a ton of rockfish to go along with it. I mean, it was really, really good. And then we got some weather. We had some weather. It blew, and it blew pretty hard, like gale force outside there where that fish has been hanging out as far as Cortez in there on the Mushroom and the Butterfly Bank, those areas. It blew really, really hard. Of course, now you get a reduction in water temp. Sometimes that'll get fish lockjaw. More importantly, however, the fleet was in. They were not out fishing. And those fish are constantly moving. When we were on the Independence, one afternoon's fishing, we saw that fish move 25 miles in a few hours. So they lost track of it. And maybe that's what we are seeing. Jeff Lingle's out there. He had 3 days on his yacht. He ended up with 18 bluefin tuna. He said, reported that at times he saw a little bit of fish, but he's on here right now saying really scattered out fish, no volume at all, just no volume to it. So I think this is just a little downturn. Maybe the guys are off them, meaning they're not located the main body of fish. Maybe they've got their nose in the mud, a term that we use when fish just go off the bite. You know, they stick their nose in the mud. We're just kind of an example of why they're not biting. Maybe we're just seeing that. We'll see as time goes on. All I can tell you is we got the best fleet in the world with San Diego boys out there looking, and they will do their best. Talked to Max Nui this morning on the Pacific Voyager, and he said he didn't see anything last night. No pescados at all. So we'll watch that very, very closely. Still go geared up. And I love the tackle tip from Max the other night. He thinks 80-pound Spectra is plenty heavy enough for fishing even bigger bluefin tuna, and it gets your jig down faster. If you're fishing at 130 pound, your jig does not get down as fast. So 80 pounds sounds like a good tackle tip to me. Shant Sarkisian, good morning. Phil and the Friedman Adventures family. Shant, you're number one up there supporting us at the Ventura Show, all garbed out in Friedman Adventure attire. Man, I heard it from a lot of people. Belated happy birthday to Michael Limon. Tell Paulina I love my fish socks. Thank you for purchasing those. That means the world to us. I have 15 pairs of those socks going to our dear friend Susan Sosa later today. So really looking forward to that. And of course, Shant, as always, sends everybody his very best blessings for a beautiful Thursday. I'm glad he said that because I wasn't sure what day today was. So I'm glad you mentioned it was Thursday, Sham. We've been going so crazy. Blessings to you, my friend. Jeff Lingle, who knows this bite pretty darn well, just thinks it's off the bite right now. They're not biting. We're talking about the bluefin. It will rebound. And I have to concur with Jeff. I think that's exactly what we're looking at. Coronado Islands, we continue to see some yellows there, but it's been sporadic. I know Carlos Cortez fishes out of Popotla. He fished the islands yesterday. He told me he saw some jurel, some yellowtail. He couldn't get it to bite. Loaded up on the rockfish out there and caught some bigger bonito also. So hopefully we're going to see those yellows fire up. There's still some fish being scratched out of there. The best score I think we've had out of the islands this year is 14 yellowtail on board the San Diego. We've had some 3s and 5s and 7s and 0s like that. So hopefully that's going to progress and bite. And if it's a normal season, once the water temperature gets a little higher, once it remains a little more consistent, we'll see that fish bite. Incidentally, that fish, that yellowtail, when it has been biting, surface iron's been a good way to go, but we've caught them on the yo-yo iron, we've caught them on a fly line bait, and then we've caught them deep on a dropper loop. So all of those methods seem to be very effective. Roger Massage and his wife Ruth are going to be on our Ventura trip. Good morning, Roger. It is so great to have you here on this beautiful day in Ensenada. It is so gorgeous. Man, you can't believe it. By the way, the thumbnail is Paulina last night with a beef rib in her boca, in her mouth. Man, she's a carnivore, that's for sure. She's on the carnivore team with us, and we've had just an extraordinary time with her and her family. It's been really, really fun. All right, let's get you in and talk a little bit about the halibut and white sea bass bite up there in the Channel Islands. That bite remains excellent. I've already heard that they're biting again this morning. Excellent sea bass fishing. Limits have not been a problem for many of the boats. The Mirage, the Endeavor, they're catching them up at Santa Barbara, Ventura Sport Fishing, Oxnard, California. The Aloha Spirit's been on that fish. The Gray Light, for sure, has been all over that with limits. Limits, the fish has to be 28 inches in length, 1 per rod until June the 15th. It goes to 3 per rod. So really great sea bass fishing, and that is all backed up by some excellent rock fishing. The rockfish bite up there has been absolutely off the hook. It's been great. So not only do you get the white sea bass, but you also get the rockfish. And maybe you're catching some of the hustle and bustle here at Botes Juanitos as they're getting ready to do some harbor cruises here. Commercial fishermen are bringing down fuel and some gear. They're getting ready. A little bit later in the day, I don't know, we'll be here, but they'll be headed for home. So once again, really exciting stuff here. So good sea bass fishing. On the coast, we still see some decent halibut fishing. There's halibut up in the Channel Islands mixed with that white sea bass. Also, that's been very, very good. So keep your eyes on that. We've seen good rockfish. The more local boats, like the 1/2 and 3/4 day guys, will give you normally a combination of rock cod and sculpin, and they do quite well on it. Some guys dedicate their runs to halibut only, where they do very, very well. On the flatfish, anywhere from a couple of fish to double digits on the halibut. So that's been good. And private boaters have been scoring some sea bass at Catalina Island as well as some halibut also. So that's been really, really excellent fishing. Now, not every halibut trip is wide open, but for the most part, we've seen a definite surge upward on our halibut fishing this last few years. It's really, really been great to see and biting very, very well. We'll keep our eyes on that for you. So good rockfish up and down the coast. I don't know how you can beat it. You can't beat this weekend jumping on board the El Patron. The El Patron runs out of Long Beach Sport Fishing. She's got brand new engines in. She's purring like a little kitty cat, and you'll be able to leave at 5 a.m. and head over to Catalina Island. I highly recommend you jump on the El Patron this weekend. I know you'll have a great time. www.longbeachsportfishing.org. All right, surf fishing. Our big event is Saturday, as I mentioned to you, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Anderson Street and Pacific Coast Highway. Drop by Big Fish Bait and Tackle, get some bait, get some tackle, and then a 2-mile drive to the south. You'll come to a tower, and you'll come to Anderson Street and Pacific Coast Highway. Sometimes there's parking on the beach side, many times, but if we get a big crowd, that might fill up, and then you park on the other side of Pacific Coast Highway. You can drive right up to the beach there, however, and offload your gear with a friend perhaps, and then go over to PCH and park. We'll be there at 6 a.m., bright and early, waiting for you all. Whether you want to bring the kids down to Beachcomb, surf fish, have a cup of coffee, enjoy the sunrise, or go for a walk, this is the Friedman Adventures, tailor-made for all of you. And if you're confused or you need a few more details, send me a text. I'll get back to you tomorrow because we're going to be shooting a lot more content here today on our way up to the United States of America from beautiful Mexico. So keep that in mind. I hope we get to see you more and more yellowfin croaker. And now we're just going into this beautiful scenario that I really like, the warming trend. You'll get some solar warming on that water temp. That's what we need. We need it to push up over 60 degrees. That yellowfin croaker will start to bite. You'll still have some of that bar perch around, but now you'll see the corbina. And the halibut, man, they'll be all over that next grunion run. And remember, the grunion may run the day after our event on Sunday, on Mother's Day, but they stage up before that, and so do the predators. They stage up too. I've got a good feeling about people throwing a Lucky Craft or a small chrome crocodile or a little Castmaster. I got a really good feeling about a legal halibut or two coming out of this next event this Saturday, so don't miss that. Isaac, good morning. Phil and Friedman Adventures family, awesome stuff you guys are doing in Mexico. All I can say, Isaac, is we wish you and your family were here. It has been so much fun. We've captured so many great things, including just kind of the day-to-day life here in Mexico. But, I mean, seeing the commercial guys with those big bonito, seeing what we saw here yesterday with the black cod, that was great. Of course, the video we did with Sergio Susare and the Ensenada Clipper, man, that really warmed my heart. That was great. And you can go back and watch all of that and more. Jeff Lingo says they're going to switch their 3-day white sea bass trip. Next, they're going to switch to a 3-day white sea bass trip. Plus, can look out northwest for the bluefin tuna. Oh, man, Jeff with the intel coming into us. So what Jeff is basically saying there with regard to the bluefin tuna is it's so iffy, he'd prefer to go hit those sea bass where he can take that to the bank, get his anglers on board, some great sea bass fishing. And then he can look out there perhaps at Cortez Bank or even other areas outside of Nicholas, maybe even Cherry Bank. He might look out in those neck of the woods and get us some intel in on that. Victor says, if you have some time, check out this seafood cart in Ensenada. Mariscos La Ensenada Guasave. All right, we'll see if we can. Victor, wish you would have told me that yesterday because we may be out of here. But next time, you have my word, we will check that out. And of course, our ice has remained perfect on this whole trip. And we need it to be perfect because we've got a lot of energy drinks in there. And I can't function without one of those. No, I really shouldn't be saying that because I need to function without those. Or one of these days, I'm just going to drop dead. But that ice is going to keep our fish cold all the way home. And the reason why it's cold is, of course, Colder Ice with Chris Rink. He provides such a great product. Colder Ice, you can get it there at Sam de la Torre's Island Fishing Tqckle, and you can get it in several other areas. Colder Ice, great product for each and every one of you. Ventura Sport Fishing, the Island Spirit will be out all weekend long, and you are going to want to join them. They do such a great job. Captain Daniel Hadaway and crew do a fantastic job. Once again, Island Spirit, www.venturasportfishing.com, or you can call them at 805-676-3474. Kids fish free this Sunday. Your mom wants to take the kids out, they're free. You can get details on that. And if you buy a paid adult full fare ticket, you can buy another ticket for half price. It's weekdays only. Call the landing. Get the details. May only. You can get that discount. 805-676-3474. Victor says, have you ever been fishing near La Bufadora? Victor, you have no idea how close I've been fishing to La Bufadora. My friend, we stuck our nose in there in a skiff out of blackfin sport fishing and lost our power. And I thought we were going to get launched right out of La Bufadora. We were drifting perilously close to the blowhole there. Yeah, we fished there. It's great stuff. Love it there. No question about it. Mara Sport Fishing down there is always the best. I hear nothing but great stuff about Mara Sport Fishing. Haven't fished with them, Victor, but you're right. I mean, everything I hear, and I've kind of talked to those guys online. They're great guys, do a great job. We fish a lot with Blackfin Sport Fishing. I need to go fish with Mara's. We'll do that in the very near future. Shant Sarkisian, did you fish at Punta Banda in Ensenada, Phil? We did not, Shant, and we did not get to Playa Saldamondo. I don't think we're going to fish it, but you never know. We could be driving by it on the way home, and Anthony goes, well, come on, let's go. It's only an hour. See if we can catch a perch or two. We didn't. We fished around Ensenada. We kind of went up toward the Hotel Corral, if you know where that is, and fished that coastline all through there where Paulina caught that exceptional calico bass. All right, my friends, man, it has been fantastic spending time with you. I know Anthony is going to show you Botes Juanitos and their contact information in case you wanted to reach out to Berenice, that is Paulina's mom, or you want to get information on doing a harbor cruise or doing some sport fishing here. You can do that. There's the number, and again, they've been here since 1960. Paulina's grandfather started this whole venture, and it's running stronger than ever. And of course, we'll have more content with Paulina. She'll be up in the United States for our Island Spirit trip on May the 30th. Looking forward to doing that with all of you. That is going to be really fun. AJ, not Mara's. So he's not a Mara's fan, but what can I tell you? I've heard a lot of great stuff about them. We'll let you guys decide about that. Have a great one, everybody. Always good spending time with you. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon. Hit that like button. Thanks for staying with us throughout our Ensenada trip.